Hey there folks, how's it going? Jeremy Deal coming back at you with another honest upfront review about gear specifically related to photographing and video for real estate properties. Today, the Edelkrone SliderONE version 2. Check it out. Alright, how's it going folks? My name's Jeremy Deal, and if you haven't been here before, I have been doing photography for the past 18 years. Recently got into video. For the past 5 years, I've been specializing in just real estate photography and video. So that is what my channel is mainly about. It's made for photographers and video creators that want to know more about their industry. And I also do videos for real estate agents trying to learn more about how they can help their creators to make more beautiful products for their marketing purposes. So today we're going to be talking about what I was super excited to finally get. The Edelkrone SliderONE. Is that what it's called? Yep, SliderONE. Boom, check this guy out. Super cool, super sleek. This is the entire thing. Granted, I have a little Manfrotto plate at the bottom because that's what I use the most, but this is it. This is the whole slider. It's a self-contained unit. You throw it down on the table, it does its own thing. Like, this is as good as it gets. Now, I was super, look, you can see it's got a little wear and tear on it because like I said, I do honest reviews right there. I've been using this thing for about a month now, probably. And I can tell you as a real estate video creator, it has its ups, it has its downs, and we're gonna talk about those now. First thing I want to talk about, which is very important, is that this thing right here has absolutely no manual mode. If you look online, they say that the original one actually has a way that you could loosen some stuff with an Allen wrench and you would have no problem going into manual mode, that they don't recommend it. But this one, the newest one, the version 2, it apparently does not have the ability to go into manual mode. So unless you have a battery and your phone or controller or whatever it is that you're going to use to control this product, there's absolutely no way you can use it. So that is both a plus and a negative. It's really cool to have this device that's automatic slider. It makes you look very professional in front of clients. It does its own thing. Like I said, it's very smooth. The problem is that it has a lot of things that are kind of mandated with it. Any other slider you just have to pick up and go with. So there's a here and there. Now, another thing, batteries. Takes a standard, what is this? The Canon LP-E6 battery, and it plugs right here onto the side. Plug it in. And hear that noise? That means it's ready to be paired to. So you've got to pull up your app, which I'm going to do now. Now keep in mind, this is what you have to do every time you want to use this device. So now I've got battery plugged in, app on, manual pairing, wait for a minute, there it is. Now, here's the big thing that I've noticed. It's already happened to me multiple times on multiple jobs. You look right up here, you can see update available. Almost every time I turn this thing on, there's an update. And that is, I guess it's a good thing, but it's also kind of a problem considering when I get to a job site, I'm there to use my product. Now, let me tell you about why that's a problem. The problem is that I've even tried hooking up to this thing before I go out into the field to make sure there's no updates. And by the time I get out there, guess what? There's an update. So there you are, standing around, staring at your computer, or I'm sorry, not your computer, staring at your camera, waiting for this thing to just update. And if you're like me, sometimes there are real estate agents or homeowners around, and if that's the case, they're just staring at you like, what's going on, man? What are you doing? Like, well, sorry, I'm waiting on my gear. So that's a big problem for me. That is the biggest problem I've had with it so far. Other than that, I love it. Now, let's talk about the footage it creates, which really is the most important thing. First thing, it's super slow and super smooth. So it gets some really great slow pans. Now this is really, really good if you're someone using a longer focal length lens. Are you using like a 50 mil or longer? Then you'll really be able to notice the way it moves. But if you're like me and you're doing video of a property for real estate for sale or marketing purposes, then what you're probably using are very wide angle lenses. Now this slow, smooth motion is really nice, it's really smooth, but the problem I seem to have is that it's a little too slow and too smooth. I always shoot in 60 frames a second, but when I slow that 60 frames down, it seems like it's just way too slow. It almost doesn't even look like it's moving. So I end up having to speed up my footage, and then it pretty much like negates the fact of me shooting at 60 frames anyway. So what's the point, right? Now, I do use this slider, but I don't use it for my initial purposes or what I really thought I would start using it for. Now, the one thing that's really, really cool about this slider is that it has this little slot right here on the front, right there. You can see it, the little camera slot. So it has a cord that you have to buy separately. It doesn't tell you this. Also, the batteries have to be bought separately. It does not come with one unless you specifically order one. So buy the cord separately. What it allows you to do is hook your camera up to this and set up a time-lapse video. This is the coolest thing I do with this. It's really nice because I operate two cameras. I use one camera for all of my video work. I use one camera for all of my photo work. So this allows me to take my rig, my extra tripod, and this slider, set it up in the backyard to get a really nice shot of the backyard for a time lapse for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because that's how long it takes me to do my interior photos. So that way, once I'm done with my interior photos, I go outside and I already have this really cool ending shot for my video of the backyard. So all I have to do is grab a few B-roll shots of the backyard, and that whole area is completely done before I've even started doing video work. So it's kind of like having an extra set of hands to make one really cool feature that most people aren't utilizing. As we know, in our industry, it's kind of how many you can turn and burn, how many can you fit in a day to make sure you can still make ends meet. Well, this allows you to do more with what you have. Like I said, it really operates as a second pair of hands, moving around, doing its thing for you while you do other things. This has kind of become my second backup rig. I use it and I set it down in places and just let it run. The Edelkrone app has this really cool feature where you can just kind of like tap two positions that you have it stored on, and it'll automatically go back and forth through both of those. Granted, like I said, it does have a very slow motion, but what this is really cool is this allows me to take my camera and get really cool slow move shots while I'm doing other things. If I'm not doing a time lapse of the backyard, I'll bring my camera in this end while I'm doing photos. The first thing I'll shoot is the living room. Then I'll set this thing up to do its little auto pan back and forth for the living room while I go shoot the kitchen. Once I'm done with the kitchen, I walk back, grab this, set it up in the kitchen, do the next room. It doesn't add that much time to my overall schedule, and it saves me so much time on the back end because everything's done in a very sequential order in the same way I did the photos. Everything's rinse and repeat, and it gives me that peace of mind knowing that I have this specific clip of every single room in the house. So when my gimbal fails me or I have any kind of issues like that, I don't really have any issues when it comes to delivery, which the most important part is. So the reason you're really here watching this video, as a real estate video creator, should you buy this product? The answer is maybe. I know that's a tough one. I can't begin to tell you how much I love this thing. As a video content creator, it is literally almost irreplaceable now that I have it. When it's in my possession, I don't remember how I worked as efficiently before I owned it. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily think you need it. This is more like candy. It's one of those things you really want, you don't need, but eventually you'll probably end up getting. It's very, very useful. Like I said, I've used this thing for so many things I didn't even think about using it for before. Originally, I was just trying to replace my regular everyday slider so that way I had something motorized and something a little more coherent across the board, so everything matched at the same pace and speed. For that, this is really excellent. You literally can't get any better. On the app, it goes down to the points, so you can move this thing at like 39.2 or 39.3 and match that every single time. And that honestly has no price, especially when creating other films. Are you creating content for your agents that's not just the videos of their properties for sale? Are your agents in these videos? Do you showcase other things in your videos other than just the traditional walk around on a gimbal with a wide angle lens? If so, then this tool could be your very next best friend. So check it out. I highly, highly recommend it. Even though I don't use it every day, I would never want to go on another shoot without it. Thanks for watching, folks. If you liked my review, you liked what I had to say, please subscribe, check out my other videos, come back and watch me later. My next review will be on the Edelkrone wing slider, which, just to give you a heads up, gets a thumbs up.